Hey everybody, and welcome to a new video. Are you just starting out in photography, or any other art form for that matter, and are feeling a bit overwhelmed with the complexity and even feeling like you're not making progress as you'd like to? Or maybe some recent feedback on your work discouraged you? In this video, I'm going to share the trials of all new photographers and artists. I'll explain what's normal for all newcomers to the hobby and give you some tips to make sure you don't get stuck in what I call the beginner doldrums. If you stay for my bonus tip, I'll give you a challenge to do that will elevate your photography to the next level and inspired me to get a photo like this. My name is Simon D'Entremont and I'm a professional nature and wildlife photographer living in Eastern Canada. I make weekly videos giving you photo tips or taking you behind the scenes for nature photography. Subscribe if you want to see more. So you're early in your photography or artistic journey, and you're coming home with photos that don't look at all like everyone else's, and you're thinking you must be doing something wrong, or maybe that you don't have what it takes to be a good photographer. I hope the following tips will help get you the right perspective. The first thing that might be bringing you down is that when you go on Instagram, you see all these amazing photos and say to yourself, my photos look nothing like that. Well, guess what? Most of those photographers' photos don't look like that either. When you're looking at different photographers' published works or photo books or Instagram feeds, you need to realize that this is the best of their best. Many of these photographers, myself included, take hundreds or thousands of photos to get one good one. You only see the best ones. I regularly take 2,000 photos in a morning outing, and if I can get 2 or 3 that are good enough for my keeper list or to post on social media, I'm happy. I'll go out some days and get no keepers. Check out these crappy pics I got the last time I went out shooting diving turns with a 600mm lens. I did get a couple of keepers, but I had way more that looked like this. Don't judge your average photo on a day you're discouraged against someone else's best of their best. My second tip is to not overly fuss on image quality as the be-all and end-all of being a great photographer. This may come as a surprise to you, as my images are often of high quality, but that doesn't make anyone a great photographer. Someone once said that there's nothing worse than a sharp photo of a fuzzy concept. Photography isn't all about technical prowess. You do want to get there eventually, but that's not what makes photographers great. It's about seeing the world with a curious eye and capturing emotions or sights or scenes that words can't express. If you look at some of the most famous images taken in the last 50 years, image quality has very little to do with why any of these images are famous, and some are downright bad from an image quality perspective. What makes an image amazing is capturing great emotions, fantastic action, unique places, great compositions, and highlighting beauty maybe where people didn't see it before. If your image is a bit noisy, looks grungy, isn't perfectly sharp, has cut something off, or lacks color, maybe those can be part of the photo. Here are a few of mine that had all kinds of problems, but were still okay. Having weaknesses can actually be part of a photographic style. By the way, if you want tips on how to shoot in backlit photography, sign up for my email list and you can download my free ebook on making beautiful images with backlighting. Link below. It seems there will always be a group of people who want to guard all the insider secrets and avoid sharing, and even trying actively to discourage others from joining photography. The anonymity of the internet has brought them out in droves. They're called gatekeepers. Just check out photography forums on Facebook. If a beginner dares to post a less than perfect photo asking for advice, over half the comments back are smart aleck comments like, what did you do that for? Or why would you ever use that setting? Or if you don't understand the exposure triangle, pack up and go home. Maybe they're unhappy with how their journey in photography has gone themselves and they don't want anyone else to succeed. Or maybe they're unhappy that anyone who has a phone now can call themselves a photographer. Who knows? My favorites are statements that start with real photographers, blah, 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 usually quoting some kind of rule. But what I tell you is this. Don't let anyone else tell you if you're being successful, and don't use the validation of others as any gauge of success. Ansel Adams, a wonderful photographer famous for his landscapes, once said, there are no rules for good photographs. There are just good photographs. You do what looks good to you and don't worry about what other people think. My fourth tip is to enjoy the process. If having a good time taking photos is dependent on getting a stellar one every time you go out, you're in a world of hurt. Not every photography outing will be perfect, nor will it deliver amazing images. I know some pro photographers who only publish a dozen photos per year. That's right, 12. I guarantee they went out more than 12 times. Now, how did this happen? Well, they probably enjoy the process of going out and place some value on it as an activity. That's how I am now, but I didn't always see it that way. I used to fuss over not getting at least one great photo for every outing. And I realized over time that this was making me enjoy it less. Now I see my photography for the long game. I want to add to my portfolio over time and over the years. And what I accomplished in one random day of the calendar last year has absolutely no impact on my career, my YouTube channel, my self-esteem, my success, or anything that matters. So go out and do photography as part of something you like doing anyway. Take nature hikes, going to see the races, watching sports, or exploring the streets of a vacation destination. Doing photography while you're doing what you love takes the pressure off and allows your photography time to be therapeutic, not a pressure cooker. One thing that's really important to understand, and the better you get and the more widely known you are, the more this is critical to know, not everyone will like your photos. Your photos are a representation of how you see things, and other people aren't going to see things the same way you do. So to judge yourself on how someone else's viewpoint is seen in your photography makes no sense at all. It's like asking someone else for their viewpoint on your favorite color. And there are times that disagreement about your photos is actually a good thing. I guarantee you that every time that someone breaks some rules to create a new genre or style or vision, not everyone will follow them there. And that's okay. The more you innovate and think outside the proverbial box, the more it will grate against someone's preconceived notions, which usually come from what's considered normal. Now, does this mean you should totally ignore feedback people give you? Not at all. But take feedback from people you respect or are trying to help you, not put you down. Use feedback as your fuel, not your duel. Learning as a process of making mistakes, understanding why you made them, and getting back up with the determination to do something about it. And I promised you a bonus tip, and that's not to worry about always taking the most amazing photos of exotic locations or rare wildlife or supermodels. The best way to become a great photographer is to learn to make exceptional photos out of everyday life and everyday stuff. We can't all travel to Patagonia for mountains and Africa for lions. When it comes to wildlife, I tell people, if you can't find uncommon subjects, take uncommon photos of the common ones. What I mean by that is go out and make art from the most mundane things and find beauty in everyday things where other people can't see it. This photo of mine of porcupines came from me following my own advice. Where I live, porcupines are unloved, slow-moving, seen as a nuisance, and often roadkill in the middle of the road. I could have said, they're just porcupines. But no, removing the just from just porcupines was my challenge. My goal here was to make them beautiful and to show that there's beauty all around us. These photos of mine are of everyday species found all around me, including the local duck pond. The prettier I can make the most average thing, the more I've succeeded. So seek beauty everywhere, and better yet, redefine beauty. If you go out and are able to make beautiful photographs of unloved things around you, a few things happen. One, you get to practice your art anytime you want, as these everyday things are all around us: cars, pets, streets, plants, or anything else. Secondly, making everyday things around you look beautiful in your photos is harder than when majestic and rare beauty are right in front of you, like me seeing polar bears in Svalbard. Making them look amazing was easy, because making art of daily things around you is harder. It will train your photography brain to find more unique ways to show it off. And finally, if you can make everyday things around you shine, just imagine what you'll be able to do when unique and stunning people, places, and things do arrive right in front of you. Combining your skills to make everyday things look beautiful with unique subjects or places, you will make magic. Trust in yourself. If you thought this video was deserving, give it a like, and I hope you can go out the very next time and use these tips to take your own unique and amazing photos. I know you can do it.